I'm an electrical engineer graduate from from a university here in Kenya. I'm the current IEEE Women in Engineers Vice Chair. I'm also the Secretary for the Power and Energy Society in Kenya. So before we go on, if you're not speaking, please would you turn off your mic so we don't have the reflection, the voice reflection. Great. So I'm also the Power and Energy Society Secretary, as mentioned, and I'm currently working with a company called WGS Energy Solutions, which deals with solar energy provision to hard-to-reach areas in Africa. So I'm really excited that this is the topic we're handling today is actually very much in that line. So our speakers for today, I'll start with Dr. Celia. So Dr. if I pronounce your name a little bit off, please forgive me. Yes, but Dr. Celia Shenaz is an senior member of IEEE. She's a fellow for IEB. She has received PhD degree from the Concordia University in Canada, and she's currently a professor in the Department of IEEE for BUET in Bangladesh since 2015. She's also the chair of IEEE Bangladesh section, and she's the IEEE PES Women in Power Region 10 representative. She is an author of more than 150 international journals, conference papers, and a winner of countless awards, and she has more than 20 years of experience. So of leading impactful technical, professional, educational, industrial, and women empowerment, and also humanitarian technology. Pardon? Somebody was saying something? Okay, so she's also she's leading impactful technical, professional, educational, industrial, women empowerment, and humanitarian technology and PES-related projects at national and international levels. So Dr. Celia, thank you so much for joining us today, and very great resume there. So you may be able to say hello to the audience. Yeah.
Thank you, Martha, for such a humble introduction. Your last name relates one of my friends from Poland. Thank you for the three organizers who came up with the idea of jointly organizing such a collaborative event. It's a very good way of doing the networking and sharing the knowledge in the area of clean energy and using the role of technology for clean energy. Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful initiative.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Celia. So I'll go on to, she's saying very humble, but as we have seen, she has quite an impressive resume, and you're a very good inspiration for all of us here. So we are seeing what can be possible in terms of growth and in the energy sector also. So I'll go next to Dr. Kalyan. Now I'm saying it right, I hope. Dr. Kalyan K. Sen. He is co-founder and CTO of Sen Engineering Solutions and has been serving as an IEEE PES Distinguished Lecturer since 2002. So for those of you who don't know, distinguished lecturer means that he's able to hold technical webinars and teachings. So I hope we'll be able to link up for our local sessions here also as well, Dr. Celia also, and also Dr. Kalyan. So he's given presentations of power flow control technology more than 150 times and in 15 countries. So Dr. Kalyan, welcome, and say hello, please.
Hello, everyone. It is my distinct pleasure to be part of this forum. I'm glad that it is done in this form when we can connect so many participants from so many countries. I wish we had given more time so we could connect to others in India. I hope that some Indian university could have joined this forum. But regardless, it is a good start. I visited many countries as a PS distinguished lecturer, probably 15 countries or so. And every country I go, my hobby is to collect a flag from that country. And here is my flag from Pakistan. I went there in 2007. Uh, I haven't visited Sri Lanka or Bangladesh yet, but I hope to visit them in future. But in my role, being uh, a lifelong student, I'm still learning. And when I see today the power engineering, it has evolved tremendously since I was a student. I graduated with my bachelor's degree in 1981, so that's 39 years ago. And then I came to US as a student. My goal was to be here for 2 years, and I'm still here. So I guess my visa hasn't expired, and I'm still learning. It's amazing how power industry has transformed from being what it was till what it is today, and it's still new things are coming. So it's great to be a lifelong student, and I look forward to share my experience, which links with the theme of this conference.
Wow, thank you so much, Kalyan. We are grateful for that wonderful introduction. And I've gotten a new hobby now. We'll start collecting flags. So, and also in terms of the collaboration, yeah, I'd also mentioned something to Tabil. So this is our first session, but I believe we can have collaboration across Bangladesh, India, and Kenya as well. Come and we'll be able to do much, much more greater. So we're already doing great. We can only do much more. So thank you so much for that introduction. Next, I'd like to welcome Preeti. At least I've been able to say your name. So Preeti, Dr. Preeti V. Waria, she's currently working as sitting engineer at Vestas Wind Technology India, Kenya, and has postgraduate research focuses on solar and wind energy. Preeti, I think I'm really excited to welcome you because this is an area I'm also very passionate about, and I'm really happy to see that you'll be able to shed some light for all of us here today with regard to the same. So thank you so much and welcome, Preeti.
Thank you so much, Martha. So it's really a wonderful experience of being here and giving me this opportunity to share about my experiences. So basically, if you consider me, I'm pretty junior to the other two panelists here. But I'm really happy that you invited me for this panel discussion and gave me a wonderful chance to be with these eminent people. Celia, of course, I already know her before, but meeting all the others, I feel it's going to be really wonderful. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much as well. And I'm very excited also to see there are women in this panel. No, no prejudice for our fellow men in the panel, but I'm really excited to see that we are having this balance. And I believe if we keep holding each other up, then we keep growing together. So thank you so much, Preeti, and welcome. Our next speaker for the day is Mr. Jandun. Yes, Mr. Sanaullah Khan Jadun. Wow, I'll learn how to speak this properly. So he's the former chairperson of IEEE COMSATS PES chapter and currently works at SOD Electrical and DHA Bahawalpur. So the COMSATS, just for members here, is one of the organizers for this event. So we're also very excited to have you, Mr. Jadun. Please say hello.
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much, Martha, for the nice introduction. It's a very good platform to join with like a senior person like Dr. Kalyan and Dr. Siria Shehnaz. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Jadun. It seems you have created a very strong team. That's what good leadership actually shows you, that even after he's left, his team is doing still quite well. And the fact that they still want him to be one of the panel speakers for today just shows how much good leadership and motivation can go. So thank you so much and welcome, Mr. Jadun. I believe we've handled all our speakers for the day in terms of introduction. So our members and viewers for today, welcome very much to this panel discussion. We will be talking about how to implement and just a moment, sorry. So yes, some of the topics we are going to handle today. Now I'll go into our first question. So how to overcome electricity deficiency in underdeveloped world through innovation in the power and energy sector.
So is that directing towards me?
Yes, Preeti, you can go ahead.
Sure. Thanks for the question. So, according to me, like when you think of electrifying a country, we need to first identify the country's potential of carbon-free sources, because that's now the world is now being focused on mainly on the sustainability part. So, when you talk about the renewable sources, the most important ones that come into our mind are solar and wind energy. And we have seen a lot of rural electrification programs using solar photovoltaic. A lot of researchers are being undertaken to improve the efficiency of solar. And other key technologies that can be explored include the floating PV, wind energy onshore and offshore, and also the hydro. But potential alone is not enough. There is need for supportive policy frameworks to promote such developments. This will take a bit of time. It may not be possible to adopt the same strategy used by the matured markets, but learning from them will help identify the potential risks. For example, even if the government implements a power development plan, the country needs money or cash inflows. The local banks may not have enough experience lending a huge amount of money. This adds to the risk. So, with proper planning and strategies for reducing the associated risks, foreign banks would also be interested in investing. And we need to find out ways to install proper infrastructure that includes the power grid, transportation, and civil structures, and also have enough human resources. So developing something new creates more job opportunities as well. So it may take few years, but with a strong support from the community and government, it will be possible to address these gaps. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, thank you very much. That's very good. I think what you've just done is making sure to do a root cause analysis, because the main problem in most of the time is we try to solve a problem without looking at what is actually causing it and actually addressing that particular issue. So thank you so much for handling it from that angle. I think that's a very good way to look at it, and proper planning, human resource, and make sure that we take the right steps to improve the access to energy in these areas. So thank you so much, Preeti. Kellyanne, also, would you like to contribute to the same?
Yeah, I have a small presentation. So may I share my screen?
Yes, please go ahead.
I'm not able to see my share button highlighted. It's grayed out. What am I doing wrong?
If it's grayed out, maybe only the host can be able to share.
Should I email you my presentation and then we can?
Yes.
You have my email address. If you can write me something, I can attach and send it to you. But in the meantime, while we're doing that, I can say some things. So the theme of this talk is role of technology. And I also understand that we are trying to propose something here for bringing electricity to those who don't have it. Now, role of technology has been around for a long time. I mean, if you could see my screen, later you'll see my presentation. Here is 1891 when electricity transportation was demonstrated. So that relates to technology. So we have almost 130 years of technology to bring electricity to people. Now, the fact is that we still have over 1 billion people in the world who don't have electricity. So why don't they have electricity? So let's start from the problem and then try to make our way to solve the problem. My personal experience is that many of these people, and I have a chart here, pretty large number, like 300 million in India, and Pakistan, it says 32% of the population, Bangladesh, like 40% of the population, and there are many other countries. They don't have electricity even today. That's unimaginable to us today. Actually, here is the lamp that I used myself when I was a student in India. So once I did not have electricity. Now, why don't we have electricity for all? It is so affordable today. Is it my role sitting where I'm sitting to bring electricity to everyone? That didn't happen to me personally. So why we are thinking about this anyway? We are thinking about it personally. I can tell you because I was in that situation someday, and I think it's good to have a productive evening for everyone. You know, what a waste of human capital if we don't give people resources to use their time efficiently. In the morning, they wake up and little children, and they think that, what should I do now? Oftentimes, they go and help their parents in their business, whether it's in farming or whatever business they do, picking up fishes from Bay of Bengal, whatever business they have, they go and help parents. So they don't have time to go to school. And then during the day, they go by doing whatever. And then evening comes, and now they have time to do something, but there's no electricity. So again, this is a cycle that they are in, and they never can get out of it, generation after generation. And that's one area that we can address how to resolve. We cannot solve the world's problem in this 1 hour, but at least we can start somewhere. Now, this project that I'm talking about is really realizable. You know, it's you all, the audience, you can participate. I'm sure you can find a place near you where there is lack of electricity. People who don't have it, they would like to have it. So how do we bring it to them? And it has to be affordable. Now, the grid, the way we know it, has been around for 130 years, but it's not everywhere. It has to be profitable because it costs money to bring electricity, and it's not charity. However, people who are using or who are wanting to use electricity, they already spend some money, or they're buying kerosene or whatever means they have. They already spend some money. So there is a program which I could show in my presentation, maybe during the time that we have, is that some like-minded people have started a program about 10 years ago, and don't just rely on the local government, which hasn't brought the electricity in last 100 years to all these people. So government is doing the way they always do, but the end result is that not everyone has electricity. So as a supplement to whatever the local government's initiative, we volunteers called IEEE Smart Village has started a program which brings electricity to people. And we have over 100 villages around the world in this program. And many places you can see the success stories. And as a volunteer, individually, you, all these participants, you can contribute to this effort and bring electricity to the people who don't have it. It's doable. It has been proven. With that introduction, I turn it back to you. And hopefully during the time that we have, I could show you my slides. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Kellyanne. So that's a very good point, and I think what is mentioned is true. All of us can relate to knowing somewhere where we know there is no access to power, which is really sad, considering that is one of the you looking at yourself having access to energy and electricity, and then imagining not living without that. You can imagine what kind of livelihoods these people are going through. So, and he's also mentioned about ISV working group. I'm also a part of this now for our region, and I think if all of us here can be able to join this group and do the little that we can, I bet I'm touching on our last topic for today. But like we said, it's all we all have to contribute at an individual level also. So I think if we can be able to join the ISV team as well and make the small contribution that we all can, then we'll be able to make a change across the board. So thank you so much. I'll go on to our next item, and this will be directed to Dr. Camille. Sorry, my system is misbehaving a little bit, but I believe, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, so application of machine learning and artificial intelligence in smart grid and use of IoT and blockchain technology of future smart power systems.
Thank you, Chaltu. I will be Preeti. I'm going first, if you don't mind.
Yes, please go ahead.
Please go ahead.
Yes, let me share my screen very quickly. Hope you were able to see it, right?
Yes, it's loading.
You can.
Yes.
Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for this invitation. And thank you, Dr. Kollan, for sharing your views, and Preeti. It is great to know Sanan Lakhan for your leadership. And actually, this is my brief bio. I will request you to visit my website, www.saviashanas.com, to know about my contribution and to let me know how I can help you. That is very important. And this is very important. Before going to actually, I will be touching on the first question that Preeti and Dr. Kollan has responded. I'll be touching very quickly. And that was the first PES day in 2018 that I myself led along with my PES chapters and all PES ambassadors. To me, this is not just a human chain. This is a power of networking, and of course, it is an innovative step. What is important for us that whenever we do or tell something, let us relate our research to one of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, like SDG 7, Sustainable Clean Energy, is very much related to our theme of PES Day celebration. And we have SDG 11, like sustainable cities and communities. And we have quality education. We have SDG 6, clean water and sanitation. Everywhere we really need the clean energy. So let me tell you that how we are actually can overcome the deficit in power energy that Preeti and Dr. Kollan has stressed. In our country, we have done wonder in agriculture, and we don't buy any food, especially rice, from outside. What we did before, that has been done by our irrigation supported by solar energy. And you can see also our wind energy, and there are many rural villages also in Africa and also in Bangladesh I have seen where this energy is used as an alternative energy to bring water out of the well. And you can see there are a lot of smart home concept are coming based on machine learning, based on IoT, and based on blockchain technology. Most important for smart energy management, the smart home automation, and also the lighting and curtain control based on body activity detection. Since I work on deep learning, that's a very interesting area for me. And office automation and remote maintenance. It is very important maintenance because huge cost involved in face-to-face maintenance. And another issue always coming to our mind, that security and surveillance, and there should be always a digital media center to control several activities. And whenever we are designing any building, that is important that we design a smart car park management system. Everywhere there are scope of renewable energy, there are scope of solar energy or wind energy. So these are the way we can actually overcome the deficit, especially the developing countries. Bangladesh has done wonder in use of renewable energy, and these are some alternative energy utilization. You can see how roadside can be used, how mud can be used, and how cycle can be charged. So there are different ways we can use the alternative energy utilization. Let us come that since I'm serving as Power and Energy Society Women in Power resident and representative, I welcome you everyone to go to our website and become a member. If you are a PS member, you have to fill up this website. What is important for us as a PS member, every month we get PES-E news, from where I came to know there are 3 factors that control the trends, future trends in power and energy, which is very much related to the questions that Martha is asking and will be asking. That is the energy storage, integration of renewables, and distributed generation and hybrid model of grid, data-driven technologies, and cybersecurity. I usually focus the 3rd point in my research. You all may know about electric network frequency, and this is called ENF. It is so interesting. If you record a digital record around a power mains or located near a power source, you can capture that ENF signal. And due to interference from electromagnetic fields originating from the power source or the acoustic hums and mechanical vibration produced by electrical power devices. And these are the ENF looks. You see, this is the ENF from grid A to grid I. That means 9 different grids. And by visual observation, they look different. This is the work of machine learning, pattern recognition, and deep learning to distinguish them automatically. So ENF can serve as a location fingerprint. Why? Because ENF can hold some recognizable patterns of a specific grid. The variations are considered to be uniform for a particular grid, and the variations are separable from grid to grid. In this way, the way fingerprint works as our biometric identification, ENF can be used as our location fingerprint, and it is very much useful for our security or cyber security in the smart power system. This is one of my major research area. And let me tell you, based on our study, how artificial intelligence are useful in clean energy in 3 broad categories. One is renewable management, demand management, infrastructure management. You can see a picture here where it's just a kind of robotic crane, and that has been powered by solar energy. And recently I have visited a coastal shipbuilding area where I am supposed to design a workshop to build the ships. I have seen those cranes, and the huge electricity from the grid is required there. And this is a smart way that we use solar energy and can control it. And the right picture, you can see the drone imaging. The drone, there are a lot of rooftops. I have visited IIT Delhi, and I've seen that the roofs are all solar based. And if you go China, the solar panels are, you can see, in the river. So it is very difficult to maintain those solar panels. So this is you see the drone-based imaging are used to find where are the faults in the solar grid. where is the faults in the solar panel, so that the maintenance becomes easier. So actually there are a lot of ML, machine learning and AI projects that are going on, and actually they're used to deploy the wind turbine operation data or solar panel sensor data to find the sunlight intensity. At the same time, it can be combined with atmospheric observations obtained by radar, satellite, groundwater stations, so that better optimization and better management can be possible. Also, AI is applied to energy storage and helping to estimate the useful lifetime of a battery pack or unit by applying different algorithms. This is very important for energy management. At the same time, AI is also used to focus on energy efficiency, enhance feedback on energy performance in the building, and solutions that can help us to learn and anticipate user behavior so that we can have a optimized approach. Let me tell you some examples of ML project, like US Department of Energy. They have invested over 4.5 billion in establishing smart grid infrastructure. At the same time, you must have heard about Google DeepMind. Google DeepMind have been analyzing 700 megawatt worth of wind energy to see how it could be optimized. So you, as a young researcher, as a young professional or a students, you must know some of the companies who are already using AI, like ABB. One of my students are working, who has now finished PhD from North Carolina State University, now working in ABB, and she's a female, very talented student, integrating an AI pilot project with a large hydroelectric utility, resulting in a reduction of 10% of routine maintenance and an increase of 2% in output. Shell, you must have heard about Shell. Shell started to train its workers in AI usage and has already adopted AI for several years now. You must have heard about British Petrol incorporating Amazon's cloud computing technology for lubricant ERP system, resulting in 40% fast response times. And there are a lot of electric companies like Spark Cognition, aiming to predict system failure and required maintenance while also predicting against sabotage and cyber security. And we talked about aiming to solve asset management and operation variances for grid integration that has been used in VIA. And there is Prenov also used drone imaging and machine learning to detect flaws in the equipment. So these are amazing technology. We must start research in that direction, and that will help us to use this clean energy very efficiently with sustainability, scalability, and also low cost. This is very, very important. So I want to stop here, and when the next question will come, I will tell you with some specific examples that how this clean energy can help us, can bring benefits in individual level. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity. Hope it was useful to all of you.
Yes, this was a wonderful question. Preeti, you can mention maybe a few things before we go on, but thank you.
Sure. I think Celia covered most of the technical aspects of it and how it is being used in the smart grid as well as the energy sector. But I could share some of the real-time examples where AI and ML and also IoT can be used in terms of renewable sectors, basically wind and solar. So I am from this renewable background and I work mostly with wind and solar. So I will be able to give more insights considering those resources. So if you take the case of wind farms.
Preeti, thank you very much for mentioning that. I'd like us, in interest of time, I'd like us to integrate the question we were to ask in terms of distributed renewable energy sources, which is wind and energy that you're going to cover. So can we have it, integrate, explaining it in terms of now how it's being used in AI and machine learning as well? I think that will be best, yes? If you agree.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
Great.
Since
Okay,
most of it are
so,
connected, that would be better.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
and you would have probably seen the growth of wind and solar over the past many years. So that has been a tremendous growth. And even if you take the case of wind installations last year, we had almost 93 gigawatt of wind capacity added across the globe. So this is a very unique, or you can say a record number, in spite of the pandemic that hit the entire world. And we also saw the decline in the levelized cost of energy for solar as well, and it is now one of the cheapest energy sources. So we quite see the development of renewable to a huge extent, and there are many reasons to it, and major ones being the need for clean energy sources and reduced carbon emissions. If you remember what Celia just mentioned about the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and there were targets set in the Paris Climate Agreement of achieving net zero carbon by 2050, and also to reduce the global temperature rise to less than 2 degrees Celsius. And we also see that there is a rising energy demand, which is a major concern all over the world. And with the development of electric vehicles, this will continue to increase. And it is estimated that in the next 10 years, this number would either double or even triple. And with that, there is quite a need for incorporating the digital technologies into the renewable sector, which includes the machine learning, artificial intelligence, the IoT, and obviously the blockchain technologies. So this is a quite vast topic. And you can see, if I take the case of wind farms, these are located at remote areas. So previously, when there is a fault that occurs in the wind farm, somebody has to go there, identify what the fault is and where it has occurred. But when the locations are at remote places, this is very difficult. Getting to the site itself is difficult. So with the installation of different sensors at the various positions, it is possible to easily identify where the fault has occurred. And even before installing the wind farm also, whether there is any problem with the blade, the design, everything can be captured by incorporating the digital technologies. This saves a lot of time. And we can also train the system in such a manner that it can say what needs to be done if a problem occurs. Another key area where machine learning algorithm can be applied is forecasting. This helps the system in scheduling and planning. So based on the demand, it will be possible to dispatch the power and optimize the operation. So, in case of hybrid renewable sources, where you have multiple energy sources like wind, solar, storage, by proper decision making, the system performance can be improved using this AI and ML, and thereby reduce the losses associated with it. Like, for example, which source needs to be connected to the grid at this time, and what amount of power needs to be transferred. All these things can be controlled by using the AI and ML technologies. And in case of solar, if you take utility scale solar system, so utility scale means a very vast solar capacity farm. So in those cases, when it is a huge farm, it is not possible to identify specifically which panel has any fault or not. So again, a person going there and trying to identify where the fault is or where the problem is, it takes a lot of time, and that is not physically possible also. So when you have the sensors installed, we can easily identify which row of panels, or specifically which panel has the fault and what needs to be done. So similar to the blade example which I mentioned, this saves a lot of time. And what it indirectly means by saving a lot of time is, again, reducing the cost, operational and maintenance cost. So there are quite a lot of other applications as well. So maybe due to the time shortage, I'll just stop with this. And maybe I could add some more companies to the list, which Celia mentioned, that uses the AI and ML technologies, including my own Vestas, and also GE Renewable Energy and Siemens Gamesa. So if you can explore the different companies that uses these technologies, you will get better idea.
I have sent my presentation to Manal and Talib. So if you can pull it up and present, then I could say a few words.
Okay. As Tabil takes care of that, thank you very much, Dr. Celia and Dr. Preeti. You've both made Preeti is making me say made. So you both made a very insightful presentation in terms of what AI means to our daily lives and also to implementation in the energy and renewable sector. And to note companies as big as ABB, Schneider, Google, Siemens, Veritas, GE, all this mentioned, taking into account what AI and machine learning can be able to do for us and what kind of growth it's bringing into the market. So I believe this is something we should really all put effort into learning and also into implementing. Like a very interesting point Preeti has mentioned, for example, for a company, the sites we do microgrid systems in very remote areas, and you find sending someone to just go and look at a problem can take up to $1,000. That is just transport and just now the cost that it takes to actually go to these sites, and this has to be on a daily basis. So if you go there for weeks, then there's so much money that gets lost in the process. So it's very interesting to see what AI can be able to do for us. And even this an interesting point you mentioned in terms of now the system even being trained, that's machine learning, yes, if I'm not wrong. Machine learning such that it can be able to say what the actual problem is and how it can be taken care of. So thank you so much for that. Dr. Celia, I'm very excited to note you are part of the first PES Day. I think that is something we are all here today because of the PES Day celebrations. We are very excited and seeing someone who was a pioneer of this. Thank you very much. It's creating quite a platform for all of us to learn and grow. We are very thankful and go on with the same spirit and the same work, because you can see the kind of impact it's having in very many lives right now. We are having countries from across the world connecting to come together just to make such a webinar able to happen. So thank you so much, both of you, for that. Tabil, have you been able to pull up the presentation?
Okay, wait.
So as that is being pulled up, I'd like all our speakers to maybe consider, I know Dr. Celia, you've mentioned you'll be able to show how AI can be used in the everyday life of members here to make sure that you're able to contribute also at an individual level. So for our speakers, that's the next thing we're going to talk about, how how all of us at a personal level can be able to contribute when it comes to clean energy and also when it comes to energy efficiency and making sure that we use energy as how do I put this, as a resourceful source and use it very well, so that as well without any wastages or as minimal wastages as possibly can be. So as we wait for the presentation, is this name Kalyan? I think I'm confusing it with a Kenyan name. It's called Kalyan. So I want to say Kalyan all the time, but yeah. So Kalyan, maybe you can start off.
So I see something is coming on the screen. Yeah, there we are.
Yeah,
okay,
good.
Let's go to the first slide. So as is mentioned that what can we do in a personal level?
Yeah. Yes, what we can do at a personal level to make sure that we are able to implement clean energy and we reduce wastage, even maybe say at homes, as we, in terms of the energy we use. So how can we be more energy efficient, even at a personal level?
Right. So if you can make it full screen, my presentation, that would be great.
Yes.
So as you can see that, I'm a prime example of what you can be done at a personal level. I didn't have electricity myself. Here is my friend, my lamp when I used as a student. So, as when we fly, you can relate to it. They announced that you take your oxygen first before you help others. So I had to take my oxygen and get my electricity myself. So I transformed from this to what we have now. And I can have electricity all day. I can turn it on and leave it on all day if I want to. It's affordable where I live. But I don't do that because I still have the habits from old days. If I go from one room to another, I turn it off. And people wonder, why do I do that? I say, well, that's my habit. So at a personal level, you can think of people who don't have electricity, and even if you afford it, still turn it off and use electricity. If you, I'm sure if you have a washing machine to wash clothes, you can do it at night. Even no, you don't have to, but you still do it. Try to find a way to minimize your energy consumption, because that will be there for someone else to use it. Now, when you have everything that you need, now you can think about what you can do for others. It doesn't happen other way, because we have 1 billion people who don't have electricity. And what did they do wrong? They were born and they never had electricity. So it was not given to them. Now, what they can do, we have to help them. We have to get productivity out of them. It's what a waste. It's really make me sad. But what can you do? So I presented in my slide. If you go to the next one. If you change my slide to the next one. Yeah. Here is a picture of the electricity from its beginning in late 1900, late 18 something to today. And I work for Westinghouse. That's my company where I started my industrial working. I was a professor from 87 to 90, 3 years after my PhD. And then from 90 to 2020, 30 years, I worked for Westinghouse, various Westinghouse companies. So Westinghouse, as you know, that Nikola Tesla, George Westinghouse, from the beginning of electricity, carried on in pioneering many things. And electricity was my part in this big company. So 1891, as you see in the picture next to Nikola Tesla, where first transmission started. And from that, we have come to this point, but we still have 1 billion people without electricity. So let's go to the next slide. What can you do at a personal level? Here is my background. You have the presentation. You can figure it out, the path that I took to get to where I am today. And if I can do it, you all can do it. Okay, so let's go to the next step. Whatever I worked for 30 years in industry, I wrote a book on the left side, and that book is translated in Chinese. Also, affordable version is in India. It's just low paper quality, but you can buy that book for less, for $10. But anyway, I cannot take the credit myself. I maximize everything that I have. So my wife and I together co-authored this book. And we just finished the second book. It's coming up in next few months. So it will come. And it's all energy related, how energy can be used more efficiently. So let's go to the next step. Next slide, please. Okay, here are the information that I have found. And you can see that with the dark shaded area, how many people in the world don't have electricity. And it's mind-boggling. Even though it says 24%, 24% in India, but 24% is like over 300 million people. That's the size of the whole US. So it's a large number, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and other countries. So we need to do something to bring electricity to them. Let's go to the next one. So 600 million people, another 600 million people in Africa. So that's over 1 billion people right there. So let's go to the next one. Here is the lamp that I'm showing you. That I have used it personally, but here are the lanterns that people use today. I took this picture last time I went to India, about a little over a year ago. So let's go to the next one, please. Here is a project that I'm personally involved, and as a local person, wherever you are, whether it's Africa or Asia or anywhere else, you could do something like this. So here is a project that I got involved I speak Bengali, which is language of Bangladesh and that part of India. So I can relate to the what is going on to the people locally there. So I grew up near Kolkata area, as you see on the screen. But in general, my interest is in the Delta area in Bengal, whether it's Bangladesh or India side, it doesn't matter. Um, in this area, I could go there and relate to my story to the villagers. Here, they don't have electricity. And I went to the highest level in India and I said, when do we bring electricity to these people? And my answer, the answer I got, it's not going to happen. It's not cost effective to bring electricity to these people who cannot afford it. So I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. So people who are living there, don't wait for somebody else to bring electricity to them. It may happen if circumstances allow, but just assume it's not going to happen. So why you waste your time chasing after something that's not going to happen? So let's do something what's doable. And so let's go to the next slide. And I'm presenting to you what's doable. So this village of our interest has 5,000 or so people. And I'm involved in this program. It is not a charity because you can never be able to do enough to charity to serve everybody in the world. My life will go by. It will never happen. So we are doing something which is doable. It's as I mentioned at my beginning of my speech, that it's a chain. People are born into a circumstances, and it just continues. These people here in this village, they bring their profession is to pick up shrimp from the Bay of Bengal area. It's abundance. Now, we want to offer a complete package to them. And what do they do now? They pick up the shrimp, and somebody else from outside come and buy from them and give them very minuscule amount. And so they never learn how to take care of that product to the full stage and export themselves because they don't have the knowledge. So, and people from outside who come there, they like to keep this system alive so that they can do their thing, and these people never can improve and make their life better. We want them to get out of this chain of poverty and ignorance and lack of education, this cycle. We want them to have electricity, send their children to school, use their time effectively, be productive in the evening, learn how to grow your product, which in this case is shrimp, make it bigger scale, do it right there, and you export it. Don't give it to somebody else and you stay in your life miserable situation forever. So let's go to the next step. So this project starts with a simple task. If you are willing to help, find a village wherever in your area which is off grid, and then do a survey, and you will find information like that what I have in this screen. Let's go to the next one. And what we'll be providing them is some LED light, very efficient LED light. It is sufficient to get enough light to do something during that time of darkness. Let's go to the next one. So it starts with a survey, and the survey, as I said, somebody has to pay for this service. Now, initial part that will be given by us, the volunteers here, we collect it and we donate it to the people who are local. So you have to find that one right person who is capable of taking this gift from us, and which we got it from someone else, and then that's a seed money, that's a seed item, and then you generate electricity, and people who are buying kerosene to light up their home, you said that well, don't buy kerosene. Now here is electricity, you buy instead. With that money, then you grow, make a second unit, third unit. But we'll give you the seed one. And then, so it reduces the carbon footprint because people are not using kerosene as much. It empowers people to be productive in the evening. Whatever trade they are in, they will do more. If they are sewing, they will sew in the evening. in light. If the children will go to school, they will learn. They will know more about everything in life and about their business, how to prosper. And then go to the next one. Next slide, please. Yeah. This is what I say, that Lord Buddha's famous teaching that never stop learning, because life never stops teaching. So life is always teaching us something, and I personally adopted lifelong learning, and now I have time to help others because someday somebody helped me and I helped myself to get out of where I was to be where I am today. And my life is dedicated to help others, and I'm dedicated to bring electricity to people who don't have it, so that they can inspire themselves, empower themselves and people around them. And overall, this whole world will be a better place for everyone. So if you go to the next slide. So I presented my thoughts humbly, and we as a human being overvalue our importance, but we're just tiny speck passing through the universe. So that's my thought. I would like to know what your thought process is, but you can make a difference locally. So act locally while you are thinking globally. Thank you.
Wow, that's a wonderful finish. Act locally while you think globally. That's a very good finish. Thank you so much for that presentation. I believe we've all been able at least to see how we can be able to act at a personal level, and like you said, do the doable. So if you see what that big vision you're trying to implement might not be possible to do immediately, start with what you can do. I believe that's a take-home. Start from where you can, start with what you can do, and then continue to build up from that. So that's a very good point, to make sure not to wait too long while we find doable solutions. So thank you so much, Kelian. I believe Mr. Jadun, sorry, not Kadun. Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Sorry, we have taken a bit of time so far, but I believe all that we have learned so far is very implementable and very much helping us in terms of how to navigate the technology sector in the energy technology in the energy sector. Sorry. So thank you very much. I'd like you to tell us one or two things in terms of microgrid integration when it comes to technology in energy sector. Jadun, if you can hear us. Your microphone is off.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, hi. I was listening that our seniors, Dr. Kalyan and Dr. Sidishan, has covered everything in the power sectors. These are the great people, but my part was the integration and the challenges we are facing while the integration of renewable energy in microgrids. Well, if it talk about the electrical grid and their challenges, the basic part is that the electrical grid is an interconnected network for delivering electricity from suppliers to consumers. It consists of generating solutions that produce electrical power and high voltage transmission lines that carry power from distant sources to demand currents, and the distribution lines that connect to individual consumers. We face a multiple kind of challenges over there. And the key challenges for smart grids are strengthening the grid, enhanced intelligence communications, intelligent intermediate generations, moving offshores, capturing the benefits of and the storage of preparing of plugging and hybrid vehicles. And there are multiple over issues. The first of all, if we discuss one by one these issues, the first one was the strengthening the grid. It means it should be ensured that there is sufficient transmission capacity to interconnect energy resources, especially renewable resources, The electrical power grid is over a century old and is considered to be the largest and most complex interconnected physical system on Earth. Due to its vastness, complexity, and being inextricably linked to human and development and involvement, it is also termed to be an ecosystem in itself. The other one, second one was I was talking about the enhanced intelligence. Freedom system is basically proposed with the purpose of developing technology to revolutionize the nation's power grid and henceforth speeding the renewable electrical energy technologies into every home and business. Since it contains many novel devices, the future renewable electric energy delivery and management system has features that are different from the traditional distribution systems, and which may also allow more flexible operation and improve the supply of reliability. However, it becomes more challenging to protect the freedom system. In the freedom system, the power electronics devices have been widely applied to gain intelligent energy management, improved quality, and the other many advantages. And the third one I was talking about, the basic of the challenge was communications. Smart grid will integrate with all the components of power system to enhance the performance of the grid. Much of the integration of components relates to communication system, that are IT systems and business processes. And the efficient communication is needed for proper coordination of protected devices to adopt the new operating conditions. Whereas distribution networks are designed to deliver power to customers within the certain voltage tolerances without overloading equipment. For smart grids, real-time data and active grid management requires fast and two-way digital communication with third-party entities. Whereas electric utilities use a wide variety of telecommunications, including wired and wireless telephones. Voice and data dispatch, radio, fiber optics, power line carrier communications, satellite, and internet. They use a group-based protocol for improving the energy distribution in smart grids, which is able to self-organize connections between smart nodes from different groups based on their available network connections. Whereas the other one is integrating intermittent generations. The economic dispatch deals with the minimum cost of power production in electrical power system analysis. More specifically, in solving this problem, one seeks to find the optimal allocation of the electrical power to output from various available generators. Prior to the widespread use of alternate source of energy, the problem involved only conventional energy power generators, which use depletable resources such as fossil fuels. It has become apparent that there is a need for alternatives to thermal energy power generation. And research for finding the best ways of integrating intermittent generation, including residential microgeneration. That is also a tough task. The main challenges of operating power grid with a high proportion of generation based on renewable resources include that these resources are less predictable than traditional fuel-based power plants, may be far from load centers, so power may have to flow through congested transmission paths, do not generally match the daily cycle of load variations from the unusual operating constraints, such as rapid vibrations or complicated weather dependence, and that need to be tightly coupled to the storage. It is widely accepted that if we talk renewable energy sources are the key to sustainable energy supply infrastructure, since they are both exhaustible and non-polluting. That's why the smart grid is most oftenly worldwide used, that these are the green energy sources and non-polluting. A number of renewable energy optimally allocating different types of renewable distributed generation within the distribution system so as to minimize annual energy loss. And the number of it is associated with the MPPT, that is maximum power point tracking. Electricity in a PV system is generated by individual PV cells operating at a very low voltage and a low current. Dozens of individual cells are arranged in series parallel configurations with a PV module, and tens to hundreds of modules are then arranged in series and parallel arrays to create a high voltage and desired power. But connecting cells in series forces the same current to flow in each cell, and connecting them in parallel enforces the same voltage. This is acceptable if each cell is perfectly identically and operates at the same temperature and insulation level. However, because the voltage current characteristics of the PVR cells are non-linear, that's why even small differences can result in substantial loss generation. Whereas techniques for maximum power and point tracking have therefore become the standard practice. The other one was moving offshores, developing, if we talk about the offshores and developing the most efficient connections for offshore wind farms and for other marine technologies is a very key issue. Potential benefits of the smart grid technology are that its central control will now be able to control and operate many remote power plants, optimized to overall asset utilization and operational efficiently. In proposed to innovative approach for the smart grid to handle uncertainties arising from condition monitoring and maintenance of power plant, unlike traditional maintenance optimization methodologies that only consider the equipment lifetime distribution and adaptive condition based. That maintenance scheme is proposed. The difference in that is the other operation related variations are also be considered. This feature is particularly useful for offshore power systems because they are remotely located and difficult to access for data acquisition and maintenance. If we conclude our whole presentation, the transition towards a smart grid from current electric grid is one of the most important decisions to meet for electric reliability, that is economy, efficiency, and sustainability goals. Only through the well-structured grid, efficient, reliable, and secure communication technologies and integrated intelligent decision-making capabilities that are associated with the structure that a smart grid can only evolve. And an integrated environment with distributed generation sources, a good transmission management system, outage management system, also inevitable for in this environment. All these have to be brought into the existing power grid in a very cost-effective manner. For the same, a lot of research works are being done and still are made with respect to the different components of the smart grid. Thank you from my side.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jadon, for that wonderful presentation. Take us home from this that to make sure we have microgrid integration, we need to have stable grids in the first place, make sure they're able to handle the implementation, make sure the communication systems are very stable to ensure the microgrids are able to communicate properly and to ensure business and processes continue as usual. And having smart grids is one of the most efficient and reliable ways to make sure that we have better and more efficient systems for our energy needs. So thank you so much for that. I believe microgrids is a very wide area, and we can have sessions going on also to make sure we exhaust well on this. So thank you so much, Mr. Jadun. I'd like to welcome someone who has joined us, a very prominent person who's joined us in the group, Dr. MD Anwar Hussain, who is the chairman for Department of IEEE. Please, if you would say hello. Dr. Anwar, please check if your mic is on. Hello? Mr. Kaylan, can you hear, or is it my speakers having a problem? I mean,
We can hear you.
you can hear me? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, as we await him, Maybe his microphone has a problem, so sorry about that. And also, thank you so much, all of you, for having joined today. The speakers, your presentations were wonderful. I've also learned quite a bit, and I believe everyone here has learned a thing or two, or even more. To be honest, this has been a very insightful session. So thank you so much for all our speakers who joined here today. Spared your time. I know we are all busy people here, but you've managed to spare your time to be here today to share the knowledge that you have. Thank you so much. I'd like to welcome someone. I've seen a member who has joined for, sorry, I got the link a bit late. Work and all, I wasn't able to share with my team earlier, but I've seen one of the members who have joined, and he was a speaker at another session we had for Kenya section. Professor Dr. Hamir, please, if you would say a word for the Kenyan team also. So before he starts speaking, maybe for all the members who are here today, your moderator for the day, and I'm from the IEEE Kenya section as the vice chairperson for women engineering for Kenya section, and also the secretary for Power and Energy Society. And this event here today is for celebrations for the IEEE Power and Energy Society celebrations. And we are very glad that all of you could join us today and spent your time to be here today. So Dr. Hamir, please go ahead. Yes, please go ahead. You can unmute and speak. I hope you're able to.
Thank you, Chaltu. Once again, my name is Professor Samir Hamir from the School of Electrical and Electronic Engineering here at the Technical University of Kenya. I'm domiciled in both fields, aerospace engineering at my graduate, postgraduate degrees, and undergraduate in electrical. I found this meeting very comprehensive and very sustaining on the need for renewable energy, especially its influx in our countries and implementation, and the context of using IoT, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence are all constituencies of the fourth industrial revolution, and using them in energy, especially smart grids. And one thing that is really important as a suggestion for further topics is on energy storage, the need for thermal energy storage, for concentrating solar power, and how can one compare assessment-wise large-scale PV with battery storage versus CSP with thermal energy storage. So those kind of things are very interesting, having molten salt research facilities in play. We also look into solar water heating test facilities, which I was a part of in South Africa during my postdoc days. So those are my comments. I fully thank Chaltu for the great moderation and all the speakers for the excellent improvisation and understanding, because all the things we do, as this one of the speakers talked about, you have 300 million, 24% in one India not having electricity. That's equal to 300 million or 400 million in the US. And then we have another 550 million who will be without electricity in Africa as well, even by 2030. So the grandness of the SDG goals and our adherence and conformity to them is very, very important. So I would very much like to thank you for this opportunity, for Chaltu to give me this opportunity. I think she has done a wonderful job coordinating and fine-tuning. I think I would say she has machined it and annealed it to perfection, and so did the presenters. Thank you.
Wow, I'm quite humbled. Thank you so much. So if you're not, I am actually blushing here. It's just my camera is not off, thank God. But thank you all so much for being here today. We have had one of the most brilliant presenters today, from Preeti, Dr. Celia, sorry, I will come for practice for this name after this. Kalyan Sen, yes, and Mr. Jadun today. So thank you so much all. You have made a very wonderful presentation. And Professor Samir, thank you so much for that warm review. So I'd also like to thank the IEEE BUBT group, the IEEE COMSAT group, also for this wonderful organization. We couldn't be here today without them. Tabil, special thanks to you. He did a very good job in coordinating this. It was not easy bringing all these teams together, but they managed to really do a spectacular job here today. I'm seeing one of the best attendance rates that I've seen so far. So thank you so much. So the leads from the groups were Rakib Hussein, Laiba Rahman, Sabir Ahmed, and Niba Yaim, and also Manal Rahman and Tabil. I've interacted with the, Tabil and Manal, but also to the rest of the team. Thank you so much. You did a brilliant job on this. I look forward to more of this, really, really. So thank you all so much. In case anyone has something to say, I'd like to welcome actually Tabil to say something before we close the session. Allow me, please. I know we've gone past our time, but please allow.
Okay, thank you so much. I have not invested my time. And thanks Celia ma'am, Preeti ma'am, Colin sir, and Jardul sir for nice presentation. And also Chaltumar Thais for genius. It's a nice moderator in our season. And Matna, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tabil.
Thank you.
So Tabil, I hope I said the names correctly. Rakib, maybe you could mention them, the organizers. Hello, Tabil. Your microphone is off. If maybe you're speaking.
Maybe you can introduce some Manal. He can say something.
Okay, yes, Raman.
Manal.
Sorry, go ahead, Raman.
Well, thank you everyone for coming today and all the speakers for presenting very informative session.
Yes, I see also Dr. Celia smiling. You have a very lovely voice. Raman, thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. Dr. Celia, maybe please, I know we have really run out of time, but please just give us a closing remark for this.
Okay, thank
and
you
maybe
very
what all
much.
of us can do to get
it's a great thing. I learned a lot from Dr. Kullan because I know him because I work in IEEE SSIT Bangladesh chapter, and he has a lot of contribution in that chapter in Petersburg, along with his accomplished wife, and also Preeti is there, and also Sanaullah. I got a lot of knowledge from them. It's a great thing to learning from the little Davids and learning from the seniors. That's important. So I will conclude very quickly by sharing few things very fast way. So let me share it and tell me whether you can able to see it. Are you able to seeing it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes. Actually, we have sent all our students to the village because we are in lockdown. But small thing we can do. We know the advantage of LED light. We can train our students to build how to make LED lights so that we can provide that light to the rural community who really need it. And this is actually led by my friends Thiago in Region 9. And you look at this, we may not be part of huge installation of the solar panel, but we can train our small girls as an outreach program that how to build a solar panel so that they know about clean energy, so that they know that how this solar panel can support a clinic, a refrigerator. to preserve insulin, which is very important. This is actually supervised by our president, Frank Lambert. It is Georgia Tech student, but they have implemented this power grid, hybrid microgrid for Haitian Health Center. This is very, very important to connect your clean energy to the community problem. And I myself, as Dr. Kullan said, I myself work in IEEE Smart Village South Asian Working Group. I have seen that how Smart Village really working tirelessly to energize schools, providing them fans, TV, clean water, agriculture, street light. The most important, you have seen the village in the Ladakh, which has been out of electricity for many, many years. So this solar energy, this wind energy in collaboration with the Smart Village. Personally, now I'm working with mentoring a project in the Nagaland. You really can't imagine it is out of electricity. Dr. Kullan made me emotional by showing the map of Bangladesh where I was born. I'm breathing, I'm competing, I'm growing, and really that part needs a lot of energy. And this is our very own, our university has done this solar rickshaw ambulance, because many of our stress, we have grown a lot, Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, we are trying hard, but we have a lot of streets where the ambulance cannot go. So this type of community specific thinking using clean energy is very, very important. So I will request every one of you after this webinar, just find one problem of your corner and provide it technological solution. This is my friend Angelina from Madras, because we have sea, Bay of Bengal, and Bay of Bengal, a lot of seas, they go days after days in the seas, and they really need those clean energy, solar panel for their cooking, for the lighting, for the mobile charging. Not only that, when they return to their community, they really cannot preserve the fishes. In our country, a lot of fishes are wasted. We import a lot, export a lot, but a lot of fishes are wasted because of no preservation process. So our solar energy we can use to build small storage system in every house that we are currently taking steps. Also, we can empower our women by using a solar power energized bike or small tuk-tuk, so that they can vendor the fishes in the rural community. So ultimately, there are many things. These things are all connected, and this system can be made smart by IoT. And why we will do it, how we will do it, and the most important reason, what benefits it will bring to us. Energy efficiency, user-friendly, it's advanced technology, it will create us a smart life, and also the technology is sustainable. So that's it from my part. Thank you for this wonderful initiative. My appeal to all of you, that transform your knowledge into solving a community problem. That is one of the themes of IEEE PACE Day. It's not just writing a research paper and publishing in the journal and writing a paper, also analyzing the impact, analyzing the cost, analyzing the scalability, analyzing the sustainability, so that our knowledge can be involved in the rural community where they really need it. Thank you once again for this wonderful opportunity, Martha, and thank you for the patience once again.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you so much. As always, that is a wonderful presentation. And true, thank you so much for audience for being patient with us, for having run a little bit off our given time. But I believe this was worth it. I think since we are all here, it means it really was worth it. Thank you so much for this presentation, Dr. Celia, Preeti, Kailan again, and Kadun. So thank you all so much, and thank you for the team that organized this. we take a challenge from this today, saying we are going to find a problem in our communities and make sure that we are able to solve them. So that's a challenge I believe all of us can take and make sure that we implement. So thank you so much all. I will I was taught how to say thank you in Bangladesh. I hope I say this correctly.
Yes.
So Dhonnobad. But
yes.
Dhonnobad. Yes, Dhonnobad, all of you. Thank you so much. We can leave at our leisure.
Chaltu,
Goodbye.
maybe you are forgetting to take a photo. You can tell the audience to open the video and can take a shot. No
Very
problem.
true. Thank you so much for reminding that.
That's okay.
Please, if
You
you can
did
turn on your
wonderful.
mics.
You did wonderful.
Thank you. You also did so wonderful. Thank you so much.
Just take a photo.
Yeah, Tabil is the one taking the photo. So Tabil, let me know when you have. I'm sorry, my computer has been acting up today.
Tabil can take.
Okay, I will take it. Done.
Thank you. Share the photo and take care. Bye. Bye, Preeti.
Thank you so much. Yeah, bye, Celia. Thank
Bye,
you, Chaltu,
Chaltu.
for and
Celia.
all the organizers. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
They've done a great job.
Exactly. This
Thank you.
collaborative event is really impacting a lot. And that's the first thing which I also noticed when I received the mail. So a joint venture between 3 countries is amazing. So keep up the good work and looking forward to more of such wonderful events.
Thank you. Take care. Bye. Stay safe.
Bye, everyone.
Allah Hafiz.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Kabil.